My name is Nicolò Dell'Unto. I'm a senior lecturer at the Institute of Archaeology and Ancient History at Lund University, and I'm co-directing the Dynamic Collection project. The project is an initiative in collaboration with the Visual Computing Lab, the National Research Council of Italy, and the Lund Historical Museums at Lund University. So we have this idea in 2019, before all this pandemic situation happened, and we thought at that time that probably we could have a better use of digital technology in support of our teaching and research. For this reason, we thought that probably just engaging in a different way with 3D models would have encouraged students and researchers in engaging more dynamically with the material we already have. And for this reason, we thought, well, why not? We should definitely try something different.
My name is Fredrik Ekengren, and I am a senior lecturer in archaeology, and I am co-director of the Dynamic Collection project. Here in Lund, we are fortunate to have access to a large study collection that is a permanent loan from the Historical Museum at Lund University. And this collection is used when we train our students in artifact analysis. So take these two objects, for example. Both of them are brooches dated to the Bronze Age, but they represent the opposite ends of the stylistic and design history of the period. We have one early form that is dated to around the 13th and 12th century BCE, where you see a very simple shape, smaller forms, smaller proportions, while on this example, which represents a later stage of the Bronze Age, you see how the forms and proportions have been enlarged, how the decoration has been become more stylized, and these are the kinds of features that we train the students to detect in the artifacts. But there are challenges in using a collection like this. First of all, the students don't have access to it on a regular basis. There needs to be a teacher present when the students are handling the objects. And also there are aspects and features of the objects that are not necessarily detectable on the actual genuine artifact, that are not visible to the naked eye. And these are some of the features that we enable the students to engage with in the system that we have created.
Hi, I'm Domenica Di Ninno, and I work for the 3D model of the object for this project. And in this moment, I'm starting to scanning the model using Artec Spider. And this is a fibula. And the idea of scanner is to use the blue light for have a 3D model of the object, and so it's important to turn the object. And now we can move for the photogrammetry technique, to explain the photogrammetry technique. And we have this other equipment. For photogrammetry, we have chosen this kind of object. It's another kind of fibula. So the system, it's something similar to the scanner, but you need to change the position of the object only 2 times. I need to have 300 photos or 400 photos for each object. The texture is very, very similar to the real. And in this case, using this screen, you can have a zoom that in reality you can't. So you can have more info of the object, useful for the study of the object.
The collection is completely available online and in open access, and you don't need any specific software to download and install on your computer. And this is very important because it means that just using your normal browser, you will be able to access the collections. It looks like more or less like all the other collections, where actually you have a number of artifacts which can be searched for period, material, or, for example, museums. But this is a little bit more special in a way that, first of all, if you actually select one artifact, you have all the information about meta and paradata. So you basically have a complete description of the object. And if you actually view the artifacts, what you can have is not, like for many other collections, the possibility of rotating and exploring the model, but actually the possibility of gaining a lot of information from it. For example, you can take off the textures and see the object in very high resolution. You can measure any type of part of the object, and you can create sections which will allow, for example, in measuring the different parts, the internal part of the object per se. So you can actually save on your computer orthographic view, meanings that you can use this material for reports or for example, assignments. But the most exciting part of it is that you can play with the shaders, meaning changing completely how the model looks like transparency or, for example, only geometry. And most important, you can annotate information. So you can actually, during exploring the model, you can annotate what you think about it, what is your interpretation. You can pinpoint a specific area of the object that you want to create an annotation. And this could be useful, for example, if you are a conservator or someone working not necessarily in archaeology and you want to share these ideas or the result of your work. But you can also create a sort of dynamic narration. So you can save object positions of the object in specific positions with specific shaders and actually letting other users to see the way of how you engage with it. Now, the good thing of it is that this is not published because it's intellectually your property, but you can export it and send it to your students or to other scholars. Just using the JSON file, they will be able to upload this online and having access to all your brainstorming, all your thinking, all your interpretations. So these collections allow you actually to start your interpretation when other people work handed. Now, this is for us a great achievement, but it's not the only one. We talk about collections, and this looks like very much more as an archive or a repository. And this is true. So in order to make a collection, you need to put objects together. You need to be able to have this freedom, in a sense, selecting objects, commenting on those. So this platform allows you to collect the object that you want to save or you want to use for your discussion, allow you to authoring your collections, describing it, and actually to save it and send it to other people. So your student will have the possibility of getting the object that you selected with your descriptions, and you can help them or letting them further discussing or interpreting the original collection you did. The same things could happen for your colleagues in research. They could actually use this for example, in a museum, when they're looking at objects which are not in these collections, they could actually use the same selections in support of their studies. And we think that this is a huge achievement in many senses for what concerns deep interactions and sharing.